This is the Bleav in Pro Wrestling podcast. Here's Rick Ucchino and SP3 on the Bleav Podcast Network.
Well, you were half right, Mr. Announcer Man. Rick Ucchino is in. SP3 actually taking the night off. Couldn't get here on time to do a show today. Again, if there's one thing that we are consistent at, it is being inconsistent. So we're going to dive here on a Friday night, a little SmackDown pre-party, a little later than we wanted to get going here tonight. So we're going to do our own version of the Iron Survivor Challenge here. We got about 25 minutes until SmackDown starts. We're just going to buzzsaw through all of the big stories of the day, and once we run out of time, we run out of time because we want to get you guys over to watch Friday Night SmackDown and Rampage and all that good stuff. Graham Matthews from Bleacher Report is filling in for SP3 in the swivel chair over there. What's going on, Graham? How you doing?
Doing great, man. Thanks for having me. I apologize for the delay. Entirely my fault. It's the Christmas season. It's crazy, but I'm here, and I'm excited to be talking to you today about a plethora of topics as we head into SmackDown.
Yeah, and some big ones for sure. Some heavy hitters names are in the news the past couple of days for sure. Let me go ahead and get this out of the way because we would not be on right now without our friends over at Bet Online. Basketball's in full swing now. NFL playoffs are quickly approaching here, and Bet Online remains your number one source for all of your betting needs this season. Get the latest odds, team matchup information, player news, game trends, all of it over there at Bet Online. And as your continued source for all your sports wagering information, they feature live betting, free contests, giveaways all year long. We're talking anything related to the NFL, NBA, NHL, MMA, tennis, boxing, golf, and professional wrestling up there over at Bet Online. Go to betonline.ag and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just make sure to use our promo code Bleav to receive those rewards. That is BLEAV. Bet Online, where the game starts. And we do appreciate everybody who is joining us here ahead of SmackDown. We're going to try to get to as many comments as we can today. What's going on, Steven and Queen, who are in the chat already? Send them in. But like I said, we got a lot to get to and not a lot of time to talk about it. So, Graham, let's dive into I would call this a bombshell report from Pro Wrestling Insider this week regarding one Sasha Banks. Look, there's been a lot of speculation, a lot of hearsay, a lot of WWE wants her back, a lot of Mercedes Verano out there living her best life on New York Fashion Week. She filmed the role for a movie recently. She's doing all these little outside projects. Nothing really concrete related to Sasha Banks coming back to professional wrestling. Until this week, when it was announced that New Japan Pro Wrestling is planning on bringing Sasha Banks to Wrestle Kingdom early on in January. This would be her first wrestling-related booking, and it does follow the timeline from Fightful Select that she would not be accepting any wrestling-related bookings until the new year. And if this is true, she ain't wasting any time, and this makes things very, very interesting in the world of professional wrestling.
It definitely does, dude. It's pretty crazy. And I said this yesterday on Twitter, in that she has been able to keep like everything that she's done for the most part under wraps. We really don't know what her next move is. I would assume, like you said, she will appear on screen on that show. Leading speculation is that she will face Kyrie probably at a later date for the IWGP Women's Championship. There's a lot of different directions that she could potentially go in. There's still chatter that she could show up in AEW as the surprise partner for Saraya on that January 11th show that they're hyping up this far in advance. So, you know, we still think, or at least I still think, I think the majority still believes she's still under WWE contract. But honestly, we have no idea. We really have no clue. You know, the leading sources, that being Fightful and PW Insider, I think have reported that before, but we still have no, concrete clue whether that's the case or not. I would still think so. I don't think she goes to AEW, but we really don't know. This could be a scenario where she shows up in New Japan while still with WWE. So it really depends what name she shows up with, or a different persona under her real name. We don't know, but it is breaking news. It's awesome news. It's big news. And it could open, she could be the key to the forbidden door as far as WWE is concerned. So I'm excited. We got Nakamura in, I think it was not New Japan. Man, it's escaping me right now, but for the Great Muta match.
Yeah. Carl Anderson's still allowed to work with New Japan as well. So, I think a lot of people, like you said, they will, they'll point towards this and they'll go, well, obviously this means that Sasha is gone. That's not necessarily true because, again, Triple H more open to working with things. And frankly, this could just be Sasha Banks saying, hey, look, before I come back, I want to go wrestle in Japan. I want to wrestle Kairi Sane for the IWGP Women's Championship. I want to be in that big match. And, is she still under WWE contract? Maybe. I know Raj Giri from Wrestling Inc. said that she had been released, or at least the negotiations were ongoing. Again, nothing concrete. We don't know. But if she's able to accept wrestling bookings starting in January, conventional wisdom would say, okay, her contract is then up at the end of this year, which means she's free to go do what she wants to do. That's a possibility. But again, the other possibility is, hey, you want me back? Let me go wrestle in Japan, and then I'll come back and do what you want. But if she truly is a free agent, man, the AEW thing gets more and more intriguing, because for a lot of obvious reasons, Sasha Banks being Saraya's tag team partner in that match against Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker makes a ton of sense and is a very, very good story to tell. More than likely, it's Toni Storm, right? Like a returning Toni Storm, that makes some sense.
Or Thunder Rosa, maybe.
If either one of them is clear to wrestle, I think if Thunder Rosa was healthy to come back in January, they wouldn't have stripped the title from her.
That's what I was just thinking too. Yeah.
Yeah. So, if Tony's good to go after she got her nose busted up in her title match with Jamie Hayter, that makes a ton of sense. Is probably the more likely option. But the more I sit here and I think about it, and I think about what I know about Sasha Banks, and let me be very clear on this. I don't personally know Sasha Banks. I've never spoken to Sasha Banks. This is straight up hearsay and speculation on my part. But everything that I've seen from Sasha Banks, the way she presents herself, the way that she's conducted her interviews, the language that she uses, the confidence that she uses, Sasha Banks puts herself in rarefied air. She puts herself on a pedestal. She knows that she is a goddamn superstar and wants to be treated accordingly, and should be, frankly. She's right, because for all of her accolades in WWE, they really have missed the boat on Sasha Banks. Like, she should have been a much more featured star than she ever was. So my question to you, Graham, is what can WWE realistically, outside of a big payday and obviously the larger audience, what can WWE offer Sasha Banks that would make her expedite all these extra projects that she's doing and rush back to the company?
Yeah, that's exactly.
They can't offer her the spotlight that she wants. Either she comes back to Raw and she's third on the depth chart behind Bianca and Becky, or she goes to SmackDown and she's second on the depth chart behind Ronda Rousey, and we know how she feels about that. And then Charlotte comes back and she's third on the depth chart again. Yeah. Like, there's nothing that WWE can offer her to make her rush back. Otherwise, she would have been wrestling Ronda Rousey for the SmackDown Women's Championship in her hometown of Boston at Survivor Series.
Exactly.
That was offered to her at some point. That obviously wasn't enough if that was on the table. So what can they offer her at this point?
Yeah, no, like you said, it comes down to a money thing. I know there was that report coming out of Survivor Series. They were at a standstill due to financial issues. I mean, again, that's all hearsay. We have no idea whether that's actually the case or not. I'm sure that's a factor. Like you said, it's got to be the freedom too. She's been keeping busy in her time off from WWE. People can say what they will about Sasha, but she's been able to keep her name out there for the last 6-7 months that she's been gone from the company, not being on any major promotion, but she's remained relevant, doing projects and doing, fashion shows and movies and stuff like that. Now she's gotten the rumors going with the New Japan thing, but it's got to come down to money, freedom, and creative are probably the three top ingredients there. To rush back, she probably won't rush back. Like, I can't see a scenario, because I saw some people responded to me saying maybe we see Kairi in the Rumble. Like, I mean, I guess that's a possibility. I'm not saying it can't happen, but would they have her immediately come back for the Royal Rumble to do what is the question, like you said, to face Ronda? Well, I would hope if she's coming back, she would beat Ronda. It's certainly not for the tag titles. We all thought when they brought back the women's tag titles, that was part of the plan and kind of luring Sasha back to the company. Because that was part of the reason.
Exactly. Sure it was, but it wasn't a big enough fish to bring her back.
No, definitely not. Especially not at this point, given what they've done and what they haven't done to those titles since they, reinstated them over the summer. They really don't mean much more. They probably mean less now than they did when Sasha and Naomi held them 6 months ago. So
the booking just isn't there. They don't have any teams.
No, that's the problem. Yeah. It's not the talent themselves. Yeah.
So, that Triple H really hasn't done anything to enhance the tag team division other than the fact that he actually cared enough to bring the titles back. And that's great. And yeah, you got Dakota and Io. Wonderful. Let's showcase them more. But it's like, okay, who, what, when, where, how, and why? Like, can we book a tag team match between Damage Control and Becky and Bianca? Like, can we do something there? Like, anything, literally. But clearly, I think WWE wanted to bring Sasha and Naomi back for the tag team division, and it's very, very clear that was the hopes that they would come back, because they ain't got anything else on the table as far as that tag team division. Maybe they start cooking it up with some of these women that they brought back. Maybe Tegan Nox and Liv Morgan's a thing.
Yeah.
We'll get an update on that there. But yeah, man, you're right though. What is Sasha Banks going to come back to have a WrestleMania match? Okay, against who?
Yeah,
against who? She ain't wrestling Bianca again. That's probably Bianca and Rhea, right? If it's not Bianca and Charlotte, and then it's going to be Becky and Ronda over on SmackDown. So who, what spot, where? Again, tag team division, probably not what Sasha wants. So the more and more that I think about it, I'm leaning towards Sasha ultimately choosing to go where she'll have the bigger spotlight.
Yep.
Where she immediately can come in and make an impact, where she will be treated as the biggest star in the company, because frankly, she would be the biggest star in the company, and she can help elevate the rest of the division someplace that she's really needed. Does WWE need Sasha Banks? No, they really don't. The beat rolls on. The train goes on without Sasha Banks. AEW needs Sasha Banks. And all of a sudden you can have Sasha Banks or Mercedes, whatever she decides to go by, Sasha Banks, Dr. Britt Baker, and Saraya as your three top pillars and stars in the women's division. And then you add in the likes of the Tony Storms and the Jamie Hayters and the Athenas and Thunder Roses and everybody else that's down there. Chris Statlander when she comes back, Jade Cargill, who's a superstar, would probably be that fourth pillar there. Yeah, man, all of a sudden you're cooking with gas, and then that women's division really starts to get elevated, because Tony Khan would almost be forced to use them with the fact that you got Saraya and Sasha Banks there, and Sasha Banks ain't going to take no shit. We know that for a fact. So yeah, man, the more I think about it, the more I think AEW is a very, very real possibility out of this news.
It could be. That's the thing. Like, I would hope that having a name like her on the table, and with the potential of her coming in, we have no idea whether they've had talks or not. Again, like we said, she could still be in WWE. We have no idea. I don't know. I don't trust her being in AEW until we see that Tony has shown a pattern of making the women more of a priority. Now, again, I will give him credit in the sense that we have seen it lately with Jamie Hayter. He was smart enough to put the belt on her. You know, Tony's great. She had a good run, a lot of good matches. She was on the TV show consistently. But Jamie Hayter was the hot hand. Typically, Tony sticks to his long-term plans of like, okay, we're going to wait till Thunder comes back. And I'm glad he deviated from that and put the belt on Jamie instead. That's a good step. Saraya is back in the ring now, and she's wrestling monthly, it seems. So we're getting in that direction, which is great. I need to see more of like, okay, more women's storylines, not for a championship, that are interesting. We don't really have that right now. Even the Jade stuff has grown stagnant, not due to anything involving her, but due to the fact they don't really have anyone. I mean, they have women for her to face. Yeah, she's run out of opponents, and they really haven't built anyone up credible enough to beat her, aside from Chris Statlander, who got hurt. So,
well,
I don't know.
If they bring in Sasha Banks, and Sasha Banks beats Jade Cargill.
I mean, listen, it's a possibility. I still don't think it's going to happen. I still look at it on paper and think, I feel like WWE is the place for her to be. But listen, if she's happier in AEW, and that would ultimately force Tony Khan, like you said, to kind of force his hand and force the women to become more of a focal point and a priority on the show, then I would hope so. But to me, seeing is believing. Nothing I've seen in the last 3 or 4 years from this company has made me think any one name is going to change that, because I think we all thought that with Ruby and Tony and Athena and then Saraya, who has helped.
Yeah, but it's different when you bring in a name like Saraya.
True.
And bring in Sasha Banks. That
yeah.
No disrespect to any of the other women you named, but they just carry a bigger stick.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's how we say. Safet in the chat saying Liv Morgan and Tegan Nox is a tag team. Yes, we'll see how that goes. Toxic Attraction to the main roster,
of course.
Certainly an option. But they got to do it, right? They got to. Running out of time here. Let's dive into our next big topic, as I Bleav it was Variety magazine that broke the news. WWE then officially announcing John Cena for the final SmackDown of 2022, Friday, December 30th. Interesting timing here, Graham. They don't bring John Cena around for absolutely nothing. So what are you reading into this one here?
I mean, I think it's the obvious. I don't think it is this, but my mind immediately goes to this, as anyone else's would. Royal Rumble announces an entry for the match because, I mean, listen, I know it's in Tampa. The show's in Tampa. That is important to note because at one point he lived there. So I don't know if he still does. I think he still does. So it's very easy for him to go there for that show. They want to probably pop a rating for like a holiday-esque show. I know it's not New Year's Eve itself, but they're doing a tape show on the 23rd, I think. So this is like their last real live show of the year. I think it's probably just a ratings thing. I don't want to read too much into it because we thought that when he came back for his big anniversary show that, it's going to set up something for SummerSlam. And then that was it. He was only around for that one show and that was it. So I don't want to read too much into it, but listen, with the rumors of him wrestling at Mania and the rumors of the Theory stuff kind of sparkling up a little bit in the last couple weeks, my mind immediately goes to the Rumble. I'm not going to guarantee that, but I'm thinking that might be the case because why else would he be back? Like you said, other than just a pop rating.
Yeah, this to me screams Royal Rumble entry. And I'm not going with Austin Theory. I'm
the
going
other
with
Austin.
another Austin. I think, no offense to Mr. Theory, but I think the Austin that everybody would prefer to see John Cena wrestle. Could you imagine if John Cena declares for the Royal Rumble and then Stone Cold Steve Austin is a surprise entrant into the Royal Rumble? And then we get that Cena Austin classic showdown, center of the ring, everybody losing their damn minds. I would personally, I'm even just getting goosebumps right now thinking about it. Sitting there, you get the countdown, and this is one of the big things that we really missed from this year's Rumble and why it was a massive disappointment is there really wasn't that, outside of Bad Bunny, there really wasn't that big classic return after years of getting, we got Edge and then we got Christian, and it's like, it was really kind of a letdown as far as the big returns go. If
we're Shane McMahon, come on, Shane O'Mac.
Right. Yeah. Shane O'Mac hanging out in the wrong spot. If we really middle of the match, maybe John Cena has cleared the ring at this point and he's pulling the Brock Lesnar and he's just waiting and doing the whole, what if he got up on the damn turnbuckle, looked at his watch, did this, and then all of a sudden countdown, glass breaks. Here comes Austin. You got San Antonio, Texas, by the way, losing their fucking mind. And we get a showdown between Cena and Austin that sets up their WrestleMania match.
It could. The only thing I don't like about it, but the only thing I would change about it is the fact that you would have them in the same place at the same time, maybe getting physical. You may want to save that for Mania. You want to save that first, I don't want to say touch-to-touch experience. That sounds weird, but like the first time they get physical with each other, till Mania itself. Maybe just the face-to-face, and then they get busy.
Have other people,
maybe, but still, that would be an incredible visual. They don't really, like you said, this year's Rumble, all due respect to the current roster at that point, had no fucking star power. Not even the surprises. Like, they had tag teams in there. It's like, why are we wasting spots on this shit? I'm not saying they can bring in The Rock and Austin for every fucking
there was
spot.
no story. There was
no story. It was just a match.
And then they throw Brock Lesnar in at the end, and it's like, this was all a giant waste of time. I have bitched ad nauseum about last year's Royal Rumble to the point to where I was thankful that I had to cancel my trip and not go because I'd have traveled to St. Louis to watch that piece of shit. I would have been pissed off. WrestleMania plans obviously are constantly shifting, talking about possibly Austin and Cena wrestling in WrestleMania. That seems to be a clear-cut main event for probably night one. I would think imagine that Stone Cold Steve Austin main eventing night one 2 years in a row in fucking 2022 and 2023. But regardless, maybe it's not so possible because maybe Roman Reigns could be fucking main eventing both damn nights, because that is at least being talked about, according to the Wrestling Observer, is having Roman Reigns wrestle twice at WrestleMania 39. The theory would be The Rock one night. Presumably, I think it would make the most sense to have him wrestle him on night one because he would win that match. And then night two against Cody Rhodes with the championship or championships on the line. This report also says there's also considering splitting up the titles. Graham, we keep constantly hearing these reports of that it would be easy to have The Rock win, but it's a pie in the sky situation because of his schedule and things of that nature. And do you really want to put The Rock over everybody in the Royal Rumble at this point in his career? Hasn't stepped foot in a WWE ring in an official capacity in like 6 years. As far as like bell ringing, in-ring stuff, I know he was on the Fox episode, but The Rock winning the Rumble is a bad idea, in my opinion. I know it's an easy cop-out to have him show up at 30 and win. It's a bad idea. But then what do you do with the Royal Rumble if Rock and Roman is the plan at WrestleMania? Do you take the titles off them? Do you find it? These reports keep coming out, and they're all, we could do this, but this isn't likely. We could do this, and this isn't likely. Wrestling Observer saying him wrestling twice isn't likely, and I say no shit, because you're not going to risk injuring Roman Reigns on night one before he can wrestle on night 2. So this ain't happening. But the more these reports come out, the more I know, the more it tells me WWE has no idea how to get through this year's Royal Rumble to get to Rock Roman at WrestleMania.
Vince royally fucked up this Mania without even being involved. By unifying the titles, you created an issue that didn't need to be there. And listen, I will say this until it happens. I am not convinced The Rock is coming back. I have seen no indication that he is coming back. I don't work there. I don't have any sources. I have no idea. But usually around this time, we would get a better idea. Okay, it's at least possible. From what I can understand, yeah, WWE is banking on him being there. Does that mean The Rock has actually shown any sign of commitment? I don't think so. I don't know. I hope he shows up. I hope The Rock is fucking there. I mean, we'll probably be there, and I would love to see it live.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be there. So this may be a non-factor, and it may just end up being Roman and Cody anyway. I'll keep it brief here, but I hate the fucking two-night idea. I really do. I have said this a lot. I think, like you said, not only the injury thing, which I 100% agree on, but also the Rock and Roman shit would overshadow Cody and Roman a night 2. Rock and Roman probably wouldn't be for the title. Doesn't need to be for the title. Shouldn't be for the title. But then Roman beats Rock. Cool. That's still the bigger match than Roman and Cody. I hate to say it, but it is. It's just a fact. And Cody's road to WrestleMania should be all about him and not Rock and Roman cutting their promos on each other. I feel like it spreads Roman too thin for a match that should be, one can happen at Mania, save the other one for, I guess, Detroit, which is where SummerSlam, I guess, might be. Who knows? That or Mania the following year, which another year of Roman as champion. I don't know. But, just separate it. I don't like the 2-night thing. I think it's going to take away from Cody's big moment if he were to win.
Yeah, and this is why I think you got to find – I think the easiest solution is to find a way to take the WWE Championship off of him. You want to get Roman Reigns to 1,000 days as Universal Champion, fine, great. Have him beat The Rock at night 2, WrestleMania, that's fine. You got to find a way to split the titles, because having The Rock win the Royal Rumble is exactly what Vince did with Brock last year. It's treating the Rumble as an obstacle and not one of your biggest – fucking marquee events and iconic figures that really help set up your WrestleMania season. So I would hate The Rock winning it, even though I'll be there in person. It would be a great pop, and I'll probably lose my damn mind. And we're all fucking hypocrites, because if they did that with The Undertaker, or if they did that with Brock Lesnar, or literally anybody else, or Goldberg, we would hate it and we would tear it to shreds. But if they do it with The Rock, oh, it's fucking awesome, man. It was The Rock. Cool. They did it with Austin. Same thing. We'd be like, holy shit. Can you believe they did that with Austin? And then, no, it's the same shit, just a different person. Just the fact that you like that person doesn't make it good booking. They got to find a way to take the WWE Championship off, because then you can have Cody win the Rumble, if that's still the direction you want to go. I know Sami Zayn is the hot hand right now, and everybody wants his journey to culminate and end. But there's also kind of that you don't lose your spot due to an injury kind of situation. And Cody was clearly being set up for big things before his injury. And he may be white hot the second that he comes back. So if he comes back and he wins the Rumble, okay, instantly, boom, you're off and running with Cody. So it's interesting. But yeah, kind of like what you said, if The Rock isn't there, that pretty much alleviates a lot of different problems, though. Like, seriously. Because then it opens up the Royal Rumble to the fact where you could have Sami Zayn win. You could have Kevin Owens win. You could have Cody Rhodes win. You could have Bray Wyatt win. You could have Drew McIntyre win. You could have, I don't know, I doubt Randy
Sheamus or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you could have Sheamus win. You could have Karrion Kross win. You could have 10 different dudes win. But as long as The Rock is in the picture, nobody can win the freaking Royal Rumble right now. And that is a massive, massive problem. Real quick before we wrap up, Graham, I said his name earlier, so why don't we close the show here with him? Goldberg today on ESPN Radio told Max Kellerman that he is 1,000. It's not a typo. 1,000% sure that he's returning to the ring. He says he cannot go out losing to Roman Reigns. Is there a match that you would actually like to see Goldberg return for?
No, personally. I did see your tweet about this earlier, and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? But that being said, listen, they can make it work if they did him in, I don't know, Cena or something different. I don't want to see the Roman match again. They did it. They not wasted it, but like it was what it needed to be, like a 3-minute squash, whatever. It was what it needed to be. I honestly don't really know. Cena, I know Orton is a person he's never faced. We don't even know what Orton's status is. I don't know. What, to come back and lose again? I don't really. No, there's no match I want to see him in. They can make it work.
Here's the thing. He says he wants to go out on top. Okay, who you beating?
Exactly.
Like,
it's the problem. Yeah.
Like, unless you're coming back and you're squashing Dolph Ziggler again, or you're wrestling somebody like Kofi Kingston,
Baron Corbin or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Are you coming back and you beating Baron Corbin? Oh, okay. Whatever. Fine. Sure. Have at it. You can have. Corbin's taken a few L's in his day. That's not that big a deal to him.
Yeah.
There is now, if Goldberg is going to lose, which should be what happens, by the way, there's one match that I want. One match.
Okay. What is it?
You book it in Saudi Arabia and you have Bray Wyatt beat the ever-loving shit out of that man.
Yes,
and
please.
Get his receipt. That's it. Like, Triple H owes Bray Wyatt that. You bring back Goldberg, he literally does not get in one fucking piece of offense. Bray Wyatt literally kicks the shit out of him, and then Shang Tsung style eats his soul, and we never see him again in a WWE ring. That's the only match I want.
Yep.
I appreciate Bill Goldberg's career for what it was. I did think his comeback had some great moments.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he's overstayed his welcome at this point. I don't know how much he has left in the tank. I definitely don't need to see him taking up a spot on a WrestleMania card, especially now that the roster is so stacked.
No.
You want to book him in Saudi Arabia? Great. Fine. Do it. Cool. If that's what the crown prince or whatever the hell wants, fine. Hey, there you go, Frantic World. Boom. Done. Sold.
There you go.
Goldberg, Austin Theory. Done. Sealed, signed, delivered. Goldberg can beat Theory. End of story. That's fine. Do it in Saudi Arabia. I don't care. Steven Chambers saying Cena versus Logan Paul. I think that's also an option for WrestleMania.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure. But come on, you got a chance to do Cena Austin. Fucking do it. You're in Hollywood. Go big. That's why you're doing Rock Roman, right? Because you're trying to go big. Still though, man, 2023, and we could be WrestleMania main eventing with Rock and Austin.
It's crazy.
Jesus,
what a year. We thought 2022 was nuts, and it was. And nothing will top this year as far as the stories that came out. But 2023 has the stage has been set. I'm looking forward to it.
I mean, we're shooting off with a bang with Sasha Banks here. She might be leading the charge here. And remember, January started off with Cody Rhodes jumping ship.
Yep.
Good start with Sasha Banks next year jumping ship. So.
And God knows what else.
It's never boring anymore.
No,
Graham, it's
gotta love
boring.
It. Yep.
I love it. Appreciate it. It's been a very, very quick episode, but a very fun episode. A lot of big news stories. You had a chance to chat with an NXT superstar. I had a deadline this weekend. Where can people find it?
I did. Like you said, it was Apollo Crews, someone that you're obviously very familiar with yourself. Apollo is great. Had a deadline tomorrow. I know you talked to Carmelo Hayes, right? Carmelo is awesome.
Yes, that's up right now here on the Bleav in Pro Wrestling YouTube channel. You can check that out. Watch it after SmackDown and Rampage tonight. You can watch
Very
it.
Nice. Yeah. So dailyddt.com. You can check out the Apollo interview and check out the Carmelo. And check out all the interviews with the NXT people.
Yeah,
a lot of Sean was interviewed fucking this week by a million different people. There's a lot of shit going on right now. I'm looking forward to deadline. Looking forward to Final Battle. I got my Ring of Honor shirt on right now. So I'm pumped, man. I'm looking forward to the weekend.
Yeah, big weekend ahead, especially for football too, to be completely honest with you. Yes.
I forgot about that.
I'm looking forward to the weekend too. Go Bengals, beat the Browns finally, please, for the love of God. Thank you guys for joining us here. Graham, appreciate you pinch hitting tonight. And we're late. Go enjoy SmackDown, everybody. This is the Bleav in Pro Wrestling podcast brought to you by Bet Online.